Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
Water on a flooded field, satin rippled by a vagrant wind. The rice terraces of the Himalayas rise up the mountains like a stairway to heaven.
We are now on an ancient pilgrim and shepherd's route winding above surging torrents. Long before the first car drove down the first motor road, men and women trudged up this trail. It was just a goat track then. Local people took these pagdandis in their stride. For pilgrims, however, it was a hazardous yatra. We are in the Garhwal Himalayas in Uttar Pradesh.
Pilgrims all over the world welcome hardship. It adds to the grace of their journey because they regard austerity and abstinence as virtues. Even today, only vegetarian food is served on these pilgrim trails. Where such pilgrim trails cross, settlements grow, expand into villages, burgeon into hamlets, blossom into towns. One such town is the 1,158-meter high Uttarkashi.
We came to Uttarkashi from Dhanolti. The more usual route, however, is from the foothills and the railhead town of Rishikesh, 155 kilometers away, or from the airport of Jollygrant. Buses also link other towns in the Himalayas with Uttarkashi. This state-run hotel offers rooms from 120 rupees to 400 rupees and is the best in town. There are also cheaper hotels than this tourist bungalow in Uttarkashi.
Flowing through this Himalayan town is the Bhagirathi, one of the great tributaries of the Ganga, which the Greeks mispronounced as the Ganges. Many of the streets of this town are still as narrow and winding as they were when it was a village.
As might be expected in a pilgrim town, it is rich with shrines and religious lore. This enormous trident represents the power released by the mother goddess to defeat the evil forces of the universe.
Another shrine reveres one of the great leaders of Lord Shiva's horde of mountain warriors, Kal Bhairav.
The Himalayas are Lord Shiva's home. Naturally, the main temple in Uttarkashi is dedicated to him as Lord of the universe. According to a priest in this temple, the idol here is a natural formation of black rock, which is known as self-formed or Swayambhu. He informed us that it was larger than the one in the temple of the same name in Varanasi. Ash-covered mendicants seek temporary shelter here during their endless wanderings.
Other men and women who court the challenges and hardships of the mountains congregate in Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. It has trained mountaineers from all over the world. Here, its instructors scale a training wall using skills which would make a mountain goat envious. Even a narrow, smooth-sided crack can become a ladder for a mountaineer. There are two ways of tackling a chimney. You can use the pressure support of your back and legs, and you can also straddle a chimney and push yourself up. Over the years, mountaineers have developed specialized equipment for their hazardous sport. Using these clamps on a rope, you can pull yourself up a mountain like a real-life Spider-Man. In mountaineering, every member of the team is important. Here, rescuers bring an injured colleague off a mountain, either pickaback or swaddled in the cocoon of a stretcher.
Feathery conifers presented in honor guard as we drove out of Uttarkashi. A little later, on the pebbly bank of the Bhagirathi, we saw a camp. Here, a group of men from a major company in the eastern state of Bihar had been led by a remarkable woman. Bachendri Pal is the first Indian woman to have climbed Everest, the world's highest mountain. Ms. Pal leads her team on a grueling trek. We asked her if mountaineering and trekking demands education and intelligence. Said the outspoken mountaineer,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल नहीं तो मैं कहती हूँ कि फिर तो भेड़ बकरियों वाली बात हो जाती है और वही मैं अक्सर कहती हूँ अपने जो ट्रेनीज आते हैं उनसे मैं कहती हूँ कि एवरेस्ट का बेस कैंप तो 18,000 फीट है वहाँ तक याक जाता है बहुत लोड लेके अगर हमारा एजुकेशनल अप्रोच नहीं है अगर साइंटिफिक अप्रोच नहीं है तो याक और हम में कोई फर्क नहीं होगा.
A scientific temper was responsible for the tapping of the surging Bhagirathi to produce hydroelectric power. But there is still virtually unlimited power waiting to be tapped by mini and micro-hydel projects across such rivers.
perennial snow-fed streams of the world's greatest mountains pour into river valleys which slice through the ranges. We saw our first glimpse of fresh snow on a peak in the distance. These mountains are still growing, forced up by the fires of creation burning in the heart of the earth.
In Gangnani, steaming sulfur springs gush into a pool. Legend has it that King Parasha felt reluctant to use the holy waters of the cold Bhagirathi for something so ordinary as a bath. The gods, in sympathy, sent down the Ganga Nahani, bathing Ganga, comfortably warm and mildly antiseptic. Ganga Nahani, in time, was shortened to Gangnani.
We drove on. The Bhagirathi wove patterns of watered silk on the loom of its bed.
We are 2,500 meters above sea level. We are also about to enter a Kipling story. This is Harsel, the valley of the man who would be king.
Back in the 1800s, a man named Wilson came to this valley, watered by the tempestuous Jalandhari and the young Bhagirathi. From the local king, he got the right to fell huge conifers and float their logs down the swift Bhagirathi to the plains below. There, they were in great demand as railway sleepers. On his growing timber network, Wilson struck his own coins. In 1864, he built a mansion using local techniques. He also married a pretty woman from the next village. Her name was Gulabi, the Rose. After his death, his two older sons left Harsel, and his youngest, Nathaniel, inherited the estate and the rambling mansion rising at the edge of the Shepherd and Pilgrim Trail. Sadly, Nathaniel became insane. Sitting on this balcony, he shot 14 pilgrims trudging to the great temple of Gangotri. Nathaniel was arrested, and the brief saga of the man who would be king came to a sad end. For a long time, the memory of the Wilsons was blurred and the mansion was neglected. Today, it's being restored to welcome visitors to beautiful Harsel.
Visitors choose Harsel because it still has a serene, Lost Valley, Shangri-La feel. It's a timeless symphony of snow peaks and conifers, old apple orchards, and the constant sound of the rushing Bhagirathi. The people of the village welcome tourists, and in spite of the chill in the clear, pine-scented air, there is a happy warmth in Harsel.
80 kilometers from Uttarkashi, on the Gangotri road, visitors have to drive for a kilometer off the road and across this bridge. They park their cars in the village and then walk for about 5 minutes to the tourist bungalow. It's the most acceptable accommodation in Harsel, with double rooms priced at 200 and 300 rupees. In the morning, there are beautiful views of golden, snow-covered peaks. The Bhagirathi flows at the edge of the grounds of the tourist bungalow, roaring softly to itself.
Beyond Wilson's cedar-pillared mansion, a rocky road leads over a bridge, down a wind-blown path, to the summer village of Bagori. The handsome people of Bagori are, reputedly, the descendants of Tibetan traders and Indian shepherd families. This pedal-powered spinning wheel could have been introduced by Wilson when he first encountered the people of this village. These gracious wooden houses are locked up for 6 months every year. Bagori hibernates in the silence of winter. In summer, it is alive with activity and the effervescence of children. Like their Tibetan ancestors, the people of Baghori worship in a Buddhist temple where a priest thuds drums and clashes cymbals to the deep and sonorous chants of his faith.
Not far from the Buddhist temple is a far more ancient one dedicated to Lakshmi Narayan. Here, a bearded ascetic told us how, apparently, Harsil got its name. Once, a long and legendary time ago, the turgid Bhagirathi and the sparkling blue Jalandhari had a status squabble. Things might have gone completely out of hand had not Lord Vishnu, also known as Hari, intervened. He turned himself into a great stone, a Shila, and absorbed the fierceness of their anger. To this day, if you look carefully through the lens of faith, you will still see the Lord with his peaked crown lying across the bed of the warring rivers. And perhaps you might also notice that the waters after the rock are a little less disturbed than they are before it.
Next morning we left Harsil and drove up the riverine road to Gangotri, 25 kilometers away. We looked ahead. In this sunlit morning, the air is cold, the river chill. Hardy mountain people often use the zo, a yak cow cross. A tough but rather self-willed beast.
This is exquisite alpine country, powerful and magnetic. The pines welcome us as we climb to the older, greater Himalayas, gorgeous plunge sliced by the bustling Bhagirathi.
Powered by their urge to see the source of the revered Ganga, pilgrims trudged determinedly. We drove past the settlement of Bairon Ghati and into the single, traffic-choked street of Gangotri. Most pilgrims live in dharamsala hospices and budget hotels. Many live in the state-run tourist bungalow, where rooms are offered for 200 rupees, ranging up to 400 rupees double.
In Gangotri, the Bhagirathi is joined by its tributary, the Kedar Ganga, rising in the glacier lake of Kedartal. Together, they gush over the toffee-covered rocks of Gaurikund and flow down the Himalayas. People come here for many reasons. Some come for the reasons explained by Aditi Das and Chandrani Chatterjee.
The Himalayas attracts me. I mean, there's a sort of a pull, you know. Yeah, I think it's a magnet.
Here, the core of the magnet is the temple of Gangotri, the holiest temple closest to the source of the Ganga. The water is ice cold, stinging the skin, granting a shivering absolution in the bright Himalayan light.
Pilgrims also go through timeless ceremonies for the eternal peace of their ancestors. Earlier pilgrims might have left records of their visit, though they never returned home. These people are consulting and adding to such records maintained by specialist scribes called pandas. Pilgrims take home the holy waters of the sacred river in copper, brass and, inevitably, plastic cans.
Gurkha General Amar Singh Thapa built the temple of Gangotri at a height of 3,200 meters. That was back in the 18th century.
Beyond the temple, the river flows like a fluid stairway from heaven. Somewhere to the east of that white giant, the 6,700-meter high Sudarshan, lies our next destination. Somewhere ahead lies the Tungnath experience.